But if I were to give an Oxford English Dictionary definition of the word exemplar, Jonah Ortiz comes to mind as an exemplar of this distinguished class. Each year, the senior class chooses an esteemed fellow graduate to offer a farewell address to the class. This year's speaker is a true man about kings. We won't call him a gadfly. He's a man about kings. He is a Founders Scholar. He is a member of the House of Sir Winston Churchill and a dear friend to many in this place. His energy and love for this college has brightened the hallways of this institution for these 4 years that he has been with us. While studying at King's, he has served as president of the King's Debate Society, penned his own political column for the Empire State Tribune, which never was anything less than very interesting. And he also interned and got plaudits from Senator Chuck Schumer, Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, who in a recent meeting with me pointed out Jonah's distinguished work with his office. He graduates from King's tomorrow with a Bachelor of Arts degree in politics, philosophy, and economics, and he will continue his study at Columbia University, where he has been accepted into the MA program in political science. I want to say a personal word. When you talk about stick-to-itiveness, there's no one that embodies that more at the King's College than Jonah Ortiz. And my only sadness in seeing you go, good sir, is I love to hear you talk. So one more time, ladies and gentlemen, will you please join me in welcoming your senior speaker, Mr. Jonah Ortiz.
Thank you so much, President Thornberry, for that very kind introduction. They're having me speak from here because I guess it looks weird having me in a pulpit, and I agree. So this is what happens like when you crinkle your papers and put them in your pocket. They keep on sliding off. There we go. Okay. I don't believe that I speak just for myself when I say that upon graduating college, the loudest voice that we hear within us is an impulse towards being practical. Confronted with the challenges and uncertainties that come with career and adulthood, it is easy for us to regard the idealism that led us to college as nothing more than a luxury of youth. Our call as King's students to influence strategic institutions now sounds distant. However, I do believe that there is still worth in it, that there's worth in viewing education as a nobler calling than just another line on a resume or a run on a ladder. That's what makes King's different. I submit that dreaming big is the most practical thing you can do, and few are better positioned to dream big than the students of this college. For in the end, what has cynicism ever accomplished? What achievement can it claim as its own? It is easy to forget that the very fact that we went to college gives us an opportunity that less than 1% of all the people who have ever walked on this earth can claim. More than not wishing to squander this opportunity, I would suggest that we have a moral obligation to use it. This does not mean we should be seekers of celebrity or sainthood, but rather that we should at least live up to our promise and continually ask ourselves what more we can be doing in the service of others. This does not require history-making acts. Robert Francis Kennedy reminds us that it is from the numberless, diverse acts of courage and belief that our human history is shaped. Each time you stand up for an idea, or work to improve the lot of others, or strike out against injustice, you send forth a tiny ripple of hope. And crossing each other from a million different centers of energy and daring, these ripples form a current which can tear down even the mightiest walls of resistance. Robert Kennedy said those words to a black audience in apartheid South Africa, an audience that couldn't even vote, yet he told them that they too could make a difference. A generation later, apartheid was gone. Now more than ever, now that we have our degree, now is a time for idealism, for activists who help us shed our cynicism and heed our better angels, for women who search for glass ceilings to break, for the artists, writers, and poets that tell the stories that truly need to be told, for journalists who have a passion for truth, detest sensationalism, and deplore timidity, and for protesters who through their actions hold up the mirrors that force us to confront injustice even when it is uncomfortable to do so. Now is a time for an active life. Now is a time for dreamers. Now is a time, in the words of Scripture, for those who hope in the Lord to renew their strength. They will soar on high on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not grow faint. That is who we are. That is kings. Bright-eyed and able to match a big mind with an even bigger heart. Kings, it's more than a building or a degree. It's you. It's us. Whether this king's mission works, it doesn't depend on the school. No, it depends on us and what we do with the blessings we have been given. That is our great, noble, and joyous task. Enrolling in Kings was the best choice I have ever made, though I did not know that then. 1 month in, and on the verge of leaving, I told myself that if I could find a reason each day to stay, then I would stay. 1,435 days later, and not a day has gone by without me finding that reason. And most of those reasons are in this room tonight. You have never let me down. See, that is what I gained here. Hope. Not an idle optimism or a fleeting fantasy, but the belief that things can always be better and that we all have a moral obligation to work hard to make that so. Kings, for 4 years, you have given me that hope. That is why I have no doubt that all of you graduates who walk tomorrow will one day run and soar, and that you will not grow weary, that you will stare down the cynics and summon what is best in us. That is why tonight I know that because of you, even when the days and the odds grow long, when the cynics line up and the skeptics cast their doubts, I know that because of you, I can always say that I attended a small classical Christian liberal arts school in Manhattan. I have no choice but to believe that anything is possible. You are a student of the King's College. You were born to be a dreamer. We are the class of 2017. We were made to be that next ripple of hope. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me this one last time. You have given me more in these last 4 years than I could ever give you in return. I love you all very much. Now, please welcome your next speaker, our student body president, Catherine Thompson. Thank you, everyone.